remember when Gary Vee sold these books that came with NFTs, right? For everybody that doesn't know, I mean, you you missed a time when people used to put literally cartons of books here at the front. Okay, so we're gonna, while we're waiting for Abstract Stream here, right? We're gonna, oh my lord, look at, I'm missing a finger. Does this even work? It's supposed to say kindness, but the book's not coming through because of the lighting. Sorry. Hold on. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe that's a little bit better. Okay, the kindness chapter. The quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. So I do have to add as well, I went for ice cream before this, and I was very nice to the ladies. And I'm telling you, I think they gave me a little bit of an extra scoop. I think they gave me a little bit of an extra scoop. We'll get in here to Luca in just a second. I'm telling you what's going on. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Okay, so about kindness in the Gary Vee book. At Wine Library, I once had an employee who was really close with steal $250,000 worth of wine. Okay, what would you do in that situation? Absolutely clock them in the teeth. People think of kindness as an ingredient to deploy toward people they've disappointed, hurt, upset, or put in precarious spot. For me, it's about being kind to those who have put me in difficult position. Okay, so this guy is choosing to be kind to this person that sold $250,000 worth of wine. That's American too. That's like 300,000 plus Canadian. I've been kindest when associates have been rude to me or effed me over in business, and 2 years later pretend nothing happened. I often tell my friends with big potential that being kind is easy when it's easy. Being kind when you're under pressure is tough. It's easy to blast off and curse people out when you're feeling stressed. It takes internal strength to be the bigger man or woman, but it's an important trait that can differentiate you from others. So what did he do? On a daily basis, I rely on kindness to get me through the anxious. It doesn't even talk about that. It sets you up. He gives you the line and then just decides to talk about everything else under the sun. Unbelievable. Welcome to another edition of XFeed. What's up? My name's Schiller. We've been talking about NFTs, crypto, and all that kind of jazz for several years. This is the new show that we're doing called XFeed. Started last year, continuing through this one Monday through Friday at various times throughout the day. Phenomenal. Okay. Luca Nets here talking about how they made $15,000 a day selling. Now, it's funny because I think Luca has got such like a persona within Web3 that the majority of people just absolutely love the guy. And then you'll find people that will be like, nah, this is weird. Why is he doing that? It seems kind of fake. So here, give me your impression on this. He's selling gold chains.
I start my first drop shipping business. Guess what it is? Fake gold chains and cubic zirconia diamonds to look like your favorite rapper. Because I was like, that's my shit. You know what I mean? I was like, this is exactly what I do. You can't really fuck up a necklace.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You can fuck up a t-shirt 100 different ways. You can fuck up whatever else nonsense they're selling. Right? You can't fuck up a necklace.
It's easy. It's
right?
simple.
It's super simple. And the margins were through the roof. Like a $3 little silver chain, like I could sell that for 40 bucks all day. All day. I was like, bro, if I sell drugs, I would make less. I'm like, I need to get one of these rappers to promote it. So I started hitting up some of the rappers that I booked. They're all blowing up now. They're like 10 grand, 20 grand. Fuck you, Buster. If I couldn't pay Lil Pump to promote it, Lil Pump's fan page had his highest concentration of his loyal followers were on the Lil Pump fan page.
And those are the guys buying
Those are the guys really trying to look like Lil Pump.
Yes.
The first person I went to was a Lil Pump fan page. He had 50,000 followers.
Yeah.
I was like, how much for a feed post? He was like, 50 bucks. I was like, bet, 50 bucks.
Done.
Post this. He posted it. Thousands of dollars in sales. So
fucking smart.
I went to all the rapper fan pages.
Yeah.
And I leaned in.
Listen, this story's cool, but I feel like that's giving away the secret. Now, I don't know how obvious that is, right? For if M. Tully and I were to open a gold chain reselling store, how well could we do using that same concept? I don't know. But a bunch of fan pages probably got it up from that. Pat McAfee, I live in Indianapolis and I can't watch the Indiana Pacers. First of all, that's tough. Second of all, similar thing here in Canada where I'm in Canada and we got Vancouver Canuck games that are blacked out. We got Winnipeg Jet games that are blacked out. We got Montreal Canadian games that are blacked out. We got Ottawa Senator games that are occasionally blacked out. I don't think I've ever had an issue with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but the point being is that I don't understand these sport broadcast deals. I get they're for like $1 bajillion a pop, but man, just make sports more accessible. The idea and the concept about people illegally streaming sports is wild to me. Why do these teams not just have a public feed, have advertisements, whatever the hell you want? You want more people to see it. Why are we constantly charging people to be able to watch these events? I don't get it. And then for those events, for the locals that are supposed to be for the locals, you can't even get it. I hate it. It drives me nuts. I think sports could be much, much bigger than they are. They just got to open it up a little bit more. Maybe they need a little bit of blockchain interoperability, if you know what I'm saying. CryptoPunks, the big NFT collection. We're honored to announce the 12 iconic CryptoPunks are included in the upcoming exhibition Infinite Images. The Art of Algorithms opening July 12th, 2025 at Toledo Museum. I'm going to say something that might be a little like, maybe this is an age thing. I don't care if these things are at museums. We use that as a selling point. Why do we use that as are you going to go to a museum? When was the last time you went to the museum? Genuine question. I think I went to one, what is this? Like 3-4 years ago? I think I was in the States for some, and we went to some art museum. I don't remember anything about it, except you had to pay a fee. It was kind of weird. There was a couple of things that I was like, oh, that's nice, but the majority of it was like, it doesn't do anything for me. But we have this concept of like, oh man, these NFTs are going to museums, and we're like hyping it up like it's some grand thing. And I'm not trying to take away from it. Like, okay, sure, it's cool to a point, but I just don't get the selling points around these things. But let's sell some more things. OtherSide, tweet note, Temple in Distress story told in 2 parts. First, the drink with unintended consequences. The restoration is our mission, but the world is what we make it. For every payment in creation, we must service a debt of destruction. This, the year of OtherSide. I don't know what's going on with all the poetry up here, but all right, cool. I guess we got OtherSide coming this year. That's what we like to see. And more news coming straight from Garga. Team is crushing it. But like with any big project, the last 10% is always a effing beast to strangle into submission and polish. As I've been saying, though, summer release is just part 1, focused around Nexus Persistent State. Minigames and social experiences along with ODK. Experiences winter releases when other deeds come alive. So we'll see if this sparks any kind of speculation. Does the Metaverse narrative come back? That is the big question. We have OtherSide doing stuff. We got Readyverse with the whole Ready Player One IP. I'm trying to think of other ones. Wilder World with their Metaverse platform as well. Beyond that, Star Atlas sort. So here's like I guess like a thought that I haven't really gave much thought until right now. But like, how is this going to work? Because you'll have Wilder World that is, it's calling itself a metaverse, but it's got game experiences within it. Readyverse, because I've been able to like actually try it, and I feel like I can talk to it a little bit more, is like you have these miniature experiences or worlds that aren't very big right now, right? They're kind of like a landing page you can go through, walk around, whatever. And then you have like a catalog that you can sift through and enter these various games. And it's more of like a launch pad. And then OtherSide, we have this big world. They've done like the Star Wars Battlefront type battle game that we've seen, but it's supposed to be a persistent state, but then there's going to be other experiences with it. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to look at what these metaverse experiences are like. Like, are all of them going to be through these different launch pads, their own silos? Are they going to end up finding a niche within certain games, and we don't have these grand, persistent state, massive worlds, and it's only a part of it? It's just like, I don't know what's going on. Yo, Peckham, what's up? Oh, I caught the live stream. What's your view on root rewards? We're going to get to that. Love that you're here, and I would love if you want to have a back and forth about any of this as well. But Wilder just killed itself. It opened up the voting, and $5 million of freebies just got canceled by a public vote. Hard pass now in Wilder World. If that happens, who had the votes to make it happen? Devs. Oh, was it actually the devs that had that? That's interesting, because it feels like I read NFT Bros post on it, and it seemed like it was more of a community decision, but if the devs had most of the vote, that's intriguing. And looking at the market cap, like the token's not in that bad of a state. Like Root is way lower than Wilder, and that's even with massive supply that's coming out. So we'll get to the rewards in just a second, but Peckham, love that you're here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. I look for Good Vibes Club Twins in the Doodles collection. So this is not to be disregarding, if that's the right term, of any collection. But this is exactly like the music industry right now, right? Where there's the Dochi person that did the thing of somebody that I used to know, right? And all of these things are like songs that have been, that were changed, that were, you know, very well known, and then kind of altered a little bit. And so we're just, Carl here just took some of the Doodles collection and compared it to Good Vibes Club. And of course, these are like insanely similar. But I'm just trying to think of like, how in the world does this exactly like work moving forward? Do we just have different style filters for collections and people just gravitate towards a different style? Because a lot of things, at least in the NFT space right now, are fairly similar. Now, if you were going to go and try to do this for like the Bored Apes, I mean, there is the sailor hat for that. I don't think any of them have a backpack. Jackets, there might be certain things going through. Rainbow hair, sunglasses. I don't know if you can compare. Sure, there's different traits with stuff. But again, do we just have a future where it's all about style filtered? Yo, Crypto Doozy, you thought the root rewards were horrible. Really? I thought they were the best ones yet. That's insane. Give me your thoughts, though, because I'm down to have a back and forth on that. Doozy, let me know. I was a bit mad about the rewards when I see people posting 4,500 in root rewards, and then you realize I backed TTK LP and I got nothing. What do you mean by you backed TTK LP? Like for the you LP the what's the friggin' there was the tickets, there was the redemption tickets. I'm forgetting what they're called, but that's interesting. You guys both didn't really like them. I'm surprised. I wasn't super active, to be honest. Like, I think I only checked in like maybe 10 days for it. So, I mean, I thought it was pretty decent for the collector score, knowing that there was two different pools. It was like 40% for collector score, or sorry, 40 mil for collector score, and then 40 mil for activity. And I was not expecting the number to be that high at all for it. My score and such made me get $90 for 45 days clicking. For me, why bother if it's cheap to buy the dip on root rewards? Days as people sell. Yeah, I mean, I think part of it's like passive in a way, and a big confusion or lackluster aspect is the fact that Root is just not in like a good spot price wise. But I mean, if you go and compare any of this to anything else, I think that most people, when it's laid out and you compare the fact that it probably should be closer to 100 mil market cap, if not 250 mil market cap, with what's going on, there's virtually no speculation in the ecosystem whatsoever. And seeing the NFTs just not get a bid at all after those root rewards, and people talking about staking. Obviously, there was probably a whole bunch of people that ended up selling it because crypto's up today, Root's not. And again, like, I'm not going to talk peachy clean about everything on here. I'm definitely down for open discourse of all that. So if you guys got more, let me know various thoughts on things. So also for OtherSide here, I thought these actually look really cool. Like in the OtherSide experience, when we did the Project Dragon, I was like, you know what? It's not bad. And maybe these are just images that are high quality, and this isn't going to actually look like what the game looks like. But this looks pretty high quality. And you know what? I'd hang out there, see what things are like, and I do kind of like the vibe here. So we'll see what happens with OtherSide. And then over on the side of Readyverse, a couple of updates for what's going on there. And so you can see one of the fluff characters within this world. And again, it's another realm where people are out building out these games. S. Wolf Chan, the Mizuki legend. Holy smokes. How are you doing out there? Dude, apparently we just got in government a guy that was a part of your government forever. If you're from the UK, and I think you're from the UK. You know what I mean? But good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I think that's what the issue was. The value of Root is down. It's not like a new TGE that happens. And that's the thing that's also crazy about this stuff. Like crazy, is you have coins that are coming out there at 500 mil plus, exactly as you're saying, Crypto Doozy. And what is the rationale for that? Apart from speculation, there's not correct token sinks in terms of like an exponentially valuable loop of some sort, right? There's no flywheel going on as of yet, but they have insane valuations. And so is that the question of they weren't with the right market makers? Is that the case of them wanting to get certain tokens out and then at one point it's going to get lifted? Seeing the fact that Ripple put out that huge bid for Circle, which it could have been several months ago when that originally happened, but you know, okay, they got money, they got big investments, they got all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's all these things happening. So I don't know. I'm more optimistic, to be honest. And sorry, this is turning into me talking a hell of a lot about everything Root related, but I do have to say, like, I was on the fence for I'd say the last like 2-ish months, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, things just, there's launches that happen and then it just feels like it falls short. And S Wolf Chan, absolutely love to see you too, good sir. Thank you for coming by. And my rationale, right? So obviously the rewards coming out and you're like, okay, you know what? That's a little bit more than I anticipated. So happy with that. But every product that launched, it felt like, okay, it just seemed like it immediately flopped. However, for root rewards, I think they're better than quests. I think they're better than quests. We can argue about that. I think it's a better system. More people can be involved with it. I just think it's better, so that's an improvement. And then TTK Episode 2. Sure, people are like, oh my God, I don't have enough energy and I regret not grinding more for that. But I do think that Episode 2 is significantly better than Episode 1. And we're starting to have conversations and things that are a little bit more open on the timeline with people questioning certain things. And then we're getting responses and having a little bit more clarity where it feels like, okay, there's been things that have gone wrong, but we're getting clarity on them as well as the experiences are actually improving. It's not like they're unproving. What's the opposite of improve? Unprove? That doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I'm definitely feeling a lot more optimistic over the last couple of days and weeks, and it's nice. Like, I mean, the spaces that Bildo had with Aaron and Sunshine was pretty good, and I thought that seeing how things go with Candy Digital. I'm also like 50-50 on the Candy Digital thing because I think for the Bat Cowl community, a lot of them have embraced it, but beyond that, I'm like, I don't know if the IP is getting used for anything else that's out there. Right? Like MLB for sure is getting used, but we haven't seen any people from MLB come into the Featureverse community, right? Where we've seen the Bat Cowl, and then for the WWE IP, for the Netflix IP, there's been nothing on that front. And then when you go and look at the site, there's basically nothing for those. Now, this can absolutely open up the doors where there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Featureverse to offer more to it. And I think we also have to view Featureverse as a tech providing platform versus what we kind of think of them going to be launching, like a bunch of different assets, this, that, and the other thing. Like they've already done the asset side. It feels like now it's them integrating the technology elsewhere. Peckham, I can't get my head around the Bat Cowl buyout. Can you explain what you know about it? I just don't get its rationale. Isn't it just a comic book style NFT that failed to get attention since 2020 something? So I think like it's not the Bat Cowl in particular. It's the fact of everything that's associated with Candy Digital. So it's the 1.5 million users that they talked about, but it is also all those different assets. So if people are trading, right? Like the argument right now, if we're being frank, is Tradeverse has no volume. That's not on Shen. Like the swap, the Tradeverse site, everything is way better than Mark. Absolutely love seeing them cook on there. It's just there's no speculation in the ecosystem. People aren't wanting to buy those NFTs. There's basically nothing of that. So acquiring all of that and bringing it to the Root Network, that then gives that platform life. It gives potentially more users, more optimism for people on that side. Because again, for Candy Digital, are they going to were they able to do anything more? Or is the Featureverse tech stack going to be able to help them out? Does that leverage certain things where there's going to be other partnerships that come through with the Think Agents, the AI, being able to use those cowls within the game, the IP rights, all that kind of sort of jazz. TTK Stone LP is at $9 in value, bud. That's not a Season 2 improvement. It's a collapse. Well, so I wouldn't touch anything to do with like the resources because the resources don't really have any point for that. So, I mean, I guess like focusing on that, I would say doesn't really make sense when you're just looking at the activity overall. That feels like sort of an odd thing to focus on. Like, is that what you're saying that like you were LPing, or are you just saying that like in general, there's nobody that's wanting to do anything with the resources? Because we had the Shellverse doing those swords, right? But otherwise there was no token sinks outside of the there was like fluff gold necklaces. So I don't really get the point of it because it feels like it's too early, but obviously with TTK they can end up doing more with that on that front. And also, if you're watching on Abstract, I got a notification, but I don't know if that message got deleted, but hell yeah. So again, my take on it, very much like in the new root reward system, you can play it passive or choose to be active. Various things count towards it and good vibes at the end of the cycle. With the rewards, incentive announcements, and news about earning more points, I believe will have a more solid impact going forward. So this is like, this is something that I think it was lacking is that there was like no incentives because nobody was speculating to begin with. But now it's like, oh my goodness, okay, well, if there's, 40 million root for activity points, how many people are doing anything activity wise outside of doing those daily check-ins, right? So Peckham, to your point of LPing, staking, obviously they've said that silo staking was supposed to be a part of that along with LPing. Silo staking is, as far as I'm aware, not connected to it. It did seem like there was a collector score bump for anybody that did the initial root reward cycle. Here, you should notice that you have a relatively large uptick within your projected score. I have no idea why that is. To be totally frank, I've talked with a couple people just asking, and that's the best assumption we can come up with, is that there's something there for being done in that first cycle, which, I mean, I made a post yesterday and Blocks went back and forth with me on that. It's like, why don't we have a list of how much these things are weighted? Because then we can actually make assumptions about it. And I don't know if that's like a legal requirement or they don't want to do that and they want to leave it up to speculation. And then it'll be Kona Road making more charts. Shout out Kona Road. It's just like, my LP covered all the TTK resources. Listen, Peckham, people got to give you more credit then. If you're LP in those resources, listen, they gotta show you some love, brother. That's crazy. Kudos on you for doing that. But I think also they just need more on the resource front because there's currently nothing for it. Like, I'm playing TTK. I don't ever collect the resources. I've done it maybe like 2 or 3 times. I just don't collect them because it doesn't feel like there's a point to it. But that can change at any point. S. Wolfchan, when OpenSea token? True. Good question. I think they're waiting for better market conditions. Obviously, Pengu went out the way that it did. Prompt decided they were going to launch. We've had a whole bunch of other TGEs around notable collections. And I think for OpenSea, they want to do it when it is a splash, pun intended. So we'll have to wait and see. But the market is starting to heat up a little bit. And I think that's when people will say, okay, we're getting close to hitting the trigger. Welcome to the NHL, the Utah Mammoth. They've decided they were going to go with the Mammoth. I think they had a couple of other names that were like not that great, so I thought the Mammoth worked, and I didn't think the Utah Hockey Club kind of fit. That felt more like it was more of a soccer football type of deal. Wendy O, if we have another bull run, it will be the last real bull run. You've heard this take before, and it was like years ago. Maybe it was closer, but I remember everybody saying this. And it's a thought. Does the AI agent realm of things prevent pumps because everything is way too efficient? Is this the last bull? Does crypto die after this? Or do we mean that all assets die after this? Think about it. Bull runs never end. Yo, we like the spirit. But you might not like this one. Zuckerberg from Meta, Facebook, explaining how Meta is creating personalized AI friends to supplement your real ones. In quotes, the average American has 3 friends, but has demand for 15. You guys feel like it'd be fun to talk with an AI agent about things? I'm trying to think of people that I talk to on a daily basis. And I'm trying to, in my head, picture of, would I not just talk to a singular entity to get all the answers around conversations or things that I'm interested in? Like, why would I talk to multiple AIs? In theory, right? Sometimes you gotta eat the beef, bro. Hell yeah. I mean, I have no idea what to think of this. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I think as the personalization loop kicks in and the AI just starts to get to know you better and better, I think that will just be really compelling. One thing just from working on social media for a long time is there's the stat that I always think is crazy. The average American, I think it's fewer than 3 friends. 3 people that they'd consider friends. And the average person has demand for meaningfully more. I think it's like 15 friends or something, right? I guess there's probably some point where you're like, all right, I'm just too busy. I can't deal with more people. But the average person wants more connectivity.
I really can't get over the fact that like the mic is here and he's talking over the microphone. Like, is there no self-realization at all? This is making me tweak.
A connection than they have. So, there's a lot of questions that people ask of stuff like, okay, is this going to replace kind of in-person connections or real life connections? And my default is that the answer to that is probably no. I think I think that there are all these things that are better about kind of physical connections when you can have them. But the reality is that people just don't have the connection and they feel more alone a lot of the time than they would like. So I think that a lot of these things that today there might be a little bit of a stigma around, I would guess that over time, we will find the vocabulary as a society to be able to articulate why that is valuable and why the people who are doing these things are like, why they are rational for doing it and how it is adding value for their lives. But also I think that the field is very early. So, it's I think, there are a handful of companies and stuff who are doing virtual therapist and, there's like virtual girlfriend type stuff, but it's very early.
Well, there's your future feeling vibe of the morning. Reminds me of the movie Companion. I haven't seen it. Is it on Netflix? Maybe I'll have to watch later. More AI here, Klaus. I'm addicted to making these banana walled characters in ChatGPT 4. Here's exactly how you can wall banana-ify any 2D character into a 3D scene yourself. Prompt, reference, and results below. So you reference the banana. You head over to ChatGPT and enter the prompt. Recreate the exact composition and camera angle of banana duct tape to wall using a full body 3D character. Match the banana's diagonal orientation precisely. Secure the character with a single Y. So again, the thought with all of this AI stuff is you'll just end up having people that are very good at making prompts, because you see, like, that prompt wasn't necessarily, hey, copy this image. It was do this exactly like that. So we got a Pudgy Penguin and then whale.mocha, if you're familiar with that individual. I think that's their PFP, which is an Izuki, I believe, and ultimately the banana that sold for a lot of money. Curio cards, history. NFTs. Curio cards launched when there was no NFT space. It took 4 years for the project to mint out. Sometimes it takes a while for the world to catch up to your ideas. Keep pushing, fam. All right, there's your optimism about whatever you're holding. Absolutely moon and true. But Curio cards, 41,808 total volume. Floor price is 0.118. If you've never seen Curio cards, these are a collection of 31 items that progressively get rarer and rarer of just random things. So we have this character, we have a Bitcoin logo, we have berries, we have books, we have Coca-Cola ads, we have Heineken's, it's like Bitcoin, we have a dog jumping in a pool, we have friggin' Wendy's over to the side, but the image is in the way, so I'm going to bring it up over here as you can see it. We love a good Wendy's. And to buy that, $1,210. What do you think? And then we get down here where there's ones of only 217, 391, 32, 42, and then 33. So if you want to buy the least rare Curio card, $37,000, and it's yours. But it's a part of history. So what do you think? Quickly reading this just to give you full context. Curio cards are the first art show NFTs on Ethereum, launched May 9th, 2017, and predating CryptoPunks. Featuring 30 unique series of cards from 7 different artists, Curio cards is referenced in the ERC 721 NFT standard and pioneered features later adopted in the ERC 1155 NFT standard. Check out the Curio docs and join the Curio Discord to learn more. There you go. A little bit of history. Just in, crypto market capitalization reclaims $3 trillion. Woo! Very nice. Not bad, not bad, not bad. With that, Bitcoin back up to 97,000. Again, people were clamoring, saying, this stuff is over. It's down below 97 now. That's tough. That's tough. But real questions, right? Like, what happens with all this? There's still a whole bunch of FUD around XRP and Ripple, even though they made that business where they tried to buy Who the hell did they try to buy? Why am I forgetting who this is? It was not Coinbase. It was something else. Some big acquisition the other day. Sorry, it's blanking off the top of my head, but Solana, all this stuff. Listen, I mean, what's going to happen here? AI agents, everything crypto. Are we in for this big, massive bull run in Q2, Q3, this year, next year? Have to wait. Breaking, NVIDIA, the third largest company in the world to add an undisclosed amount of Bitcoin to their balance sheet for stability. Circle. Thank you, Peckham. Absolute legend. Yes, it was Circle, not Coinbase. Started with a C, though. Somewhat on the right track. But all these questions around these big entities, NVIDIA, Bitcoin, Ripple, trying to buy Circle, the crypto realm. Is that where the bulls start? Here's your security reminder of the day. Listen up. I just got hacked. Lost some ETH Sol and a bunch of NFTs, especially my Azuki, Beans Official, and Pixelmon, which I truly treasured, says Win is CEO. Here's what happened. I've been actively applying for jobs lately. Yesterday, I got a LinkedIn DM from someone claiming to be a recruiter from Alchemy. She asked if I was interested in a role, and if so, to share my resume. I did. After she reviewed my resume with the team, she came back saying I was quite suitable for the role. She then sent me a link to complete a 20-minute time test and a video recording interview. During the process, there were some issues with the webcam access, and the site provided suggestions on how to fix it. Since it was a time test, I rushed and followed the instructions blindly, thinking everything was fine. If you got red flags going off in your head, bravo, bravo, bravo. Later, I received transaction alerts from MetaMask app that's when I knew I effed up. By enabling those permissions and rushing through, the hackers somehow gained access to my wallet extensions. I didn't sign anything suspicious, so I was likely a session to hijacking or some browser-level exploit. Lesson, hacks can happen anywhere, even through what looks like a legit Web2 job process. Slow down, double check everything, never let your guard down no matter how professional it looks. So I don't know if they have anything on the screenshots. Okay, so LinkedIn Gold member, I'm guessing that they got blocked from it because it says unable to receive messages. So I'm guessing they just blocked it. But the message from that resume response says, congratulations, we completed your wonderful resume review. Wonderful resume review. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you for sharing your impressive experience and qualifications. Again, it's too flavorful. Too flavorful. They align perfectly with what we are seeking for this position, and we're eager to learn more about you. As the next step, we'd like to invite you to complete a brief video interview. This will provide us with a deeper insights into your skills, experience, and overall fit for our team. Please use the following link for access. Okay, so alchemy.onchainhiringtool.com/invite. I don't know. Would you have like that flagged? I haven't heard of a site having their own like video invite embed. But okay, simply click the link and follow the instructions to record your responses. I recommend you to process the interview with your laptop or desktop. If you encounter any issues or have questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Look forward to reviewing your responses. I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously, like, I'm not here on LinkedIn, like, being like, yo, give me a job, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? So, I don't know if we can say based off of that, yeah, we would have got caught, but holy smokes, they got a whole bunch of stuff that ended up going out there. And it doesn't look like there was anything more about it. So yeah, that's tough. And just a security reminder. He is so fake, you can't stand the guy. Yo, I know, right? Like, there's my red flag, like, it wasn't even the link. It was the fact that they were like way too like sprinkly cheery, like, oh, you're great, you're perfect, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, that was the thing that caught me off guard. I don't know. All right, so Adam Weitzman, who was like an investor in Yuga and a bunch of other big entities, pretty sure this is the guy that bought the one of one key for Doogie Dash for $1 million. This guy's a mega whale is the point. Decided to help support a few other projects this week. Moonbird 668 joins the family. I believe in Yuga more than ever. Special thanks to Nix for the quick and fast deal. And so these things were going for like 30 to 60 ETH when Moonbirds were like desired. I think these are called like glitches. And so Philly's like, you must know something we don't. And I'm like, yeah, 100. Absolutely, 100%, because I don't know why the hell we're out here acquiring some Moonbird Grails and trying to do things over OTC instead of just buying on a marketplace. You know what I mean? So there's definitely something going on there. And maybe this is a good thing, right? Because I think for Moonbirds, they're looking for a win overall. Crypto Doozy, HBO Max Companion, Jack Squad, and Sophie Thatcher. I don't know why that makes me think of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Except I don't think William Thatcher. No, is that it? There's some kind of Thatcher that I'm thinking of. Maybe that's the wrong one. But Mr. Roo, good to see you, and that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. If you're wanting more content, we do the RWA Segments podcast. If you check the link down below, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see it there, or if you follow me on X, you can see it in the bio there, or if you just type that in anywhere you listen to podcasts. We'd love for you guys to check that out. And of course, if you're just wanting to catch up on the past week, the past year, you can go to the live feed on YouTube and just give an absolute rip, and you can see what we were talking about a year ago on this date, or last week, whenever the hell you want. Luke, I'm talking about. Oh, okay, gotcha. Wait, Mr. Root, are you rewatching the beginning of the stream? Hell yeah, I appreciate coming on through for that. I'm guessing that's what happened, because we are like way past that point. But yeah, the gold chain conversation was super interesting. And of course, we do have the abstract TGE at some point, and abstract XP seems to be pretty much like all of the attention right now. And I saw some conversations around people saying, well, you know what, Ape Chain's not getting the attention because it's all on abstract, or this chain's not getting it because it's all on abstract. And if you've been in the space for a while, you've seen that everything is kind of an ebb and flow throughout it. But Peckham, great content, deserve more credit for your efforts. Pump the like, viewers, please. Yo, Peckham, appreciate you coming through, and I'm thrilled that you were here watching live. If you guys do want to like, share the stream, very much appreciated on that front. But thank you for tuning in, and we're going to be back at it tomorrow as per usual. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace. And yo, Blitzer, good morning, good morning. Sorry I'm leaving you on the spot. Peace, guys.